there guys, Mr. Mackey here. Now yesterday I introduced you to Venn diagrams and I was showing you how to find different probabilities from the information that we have laid out in these Venn diagrams. Now the challenge I set you yesterday was to find out that the probability that on Saturday we have a film that's on my list, but then the following Saturday we have a film that's only on my mum's list. And the factor we need to consider is that once we've watched a film on this list, we cross it off. We don't watch it again. So, obviously we need to first find out the probability that we choose a film that's on my list. Well, I've got it up on the board, 10 over 17. The reason why is because there's 7 of those 17 films are just on my list, but there's also 3 that are on both of our lists. So we combine them. So, we do 10 over 17. But then once we've watched that film, there's 16 films left. Because we've watched one, it's gone, there's 16 films we haven't watched. So, what is the probability that we then choose a film that's on my mum's list? Well, on this it's 7 over 17, because I said only my mum's list, not the bit in the middle. But it's not 7 over 17, because one of those films has now gone. So it's 7 over 16. So, it's 10 over 17 times 7 over 16. Get your calculator, multiply them together, and you will get, if you got it to fractions, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to write it as a fraction. The probability that on Saturday it would be a film on my list and on a Sunday it would be a film on my mum's list is 35 over 136, which is about the same as 0.257. Quite unlikely, but not impossible. Now we're going to continue on Venn diagrams today, but we're not going to focus on two-way Venn diagrams. We're going to be focusing on a different type. Let's see. Now before this lockdown, I worked in Key Stage 2. I worked with Year 5s and Year 6s. And before this lockdown, I asked them, with 100 people in total, what pets they owned. Now out of those 100, 30 of them owned cats, 50 of them owned dogs, 20 of them owned fish, 15 of them owned both cats and dogs, 10 of them owned both dogs and fish, 8 of them owned both fish and cats, and 5 of them said they owned all 3 pets. Now I want to represent this as a 3-way Venn diagram. The reason why it's a 3-way Venn diagram is because we're meeting 3 different conditions, which are cats, dogs, and fish. Now, let's see how this is going to look. So this is how I've made mine look. I've also marked a blue one on this circle to represent we're focusing on cats on that one, a red one on this circle to represent dogs, and a green one on that one to represent fish. Yours might come across a bit neater than mine, but this is essentially how it looks. Now, like a 2-way Venn diagram, we have to focus on the middle part first. And that middle part means the conditions where all 3 are relevant. So that means the 5 students where all 5 pets are owned by them. So I'm going to write this in the middle. And because there's 100 students, I'm going to write 5 over 100, just to make it a bit easier. And now we're going to work our way outwards. So we're going to do these 3 parts. Now these 3 parts are when only 2 of the 3 conditions are met. So in this one, it's when the people own both cats and dogs. According to this, 15 students own both cats and dogs. But we don't include all 15. The reason why? Well, 5 of those 15 also own fish, which is in the middle. So what you do is you take away 5 from that 15, and that becomes 10 over 100. So let's move down to this one with dogs and fish. Well, 10 of them say they both own dogs and fish. You take away 5 from that, so that becomes 5 over 100 as well. Now the final one, this is for fish and cats. 8 of them own both fish and cats. What a combo. They have to take away 5 from that. So 8 to take away 5, it becomes 3 over 100. Now that we've done that, we can expand even further and branch out to these 3, which focuses on the people who own just a specific type of pet. Now for the first one, 30 students say they own cats, but we've forgotten the ones who say they also own fish, dogs, and all three. So, what you do is you have that 30 and you take away the 10 from there, the 5 from there, and the 3 from there. So 30 take away 10 is 20, 20 take away 5 is 15, 15 take away 3, that means you end up with just 12 over 100. What about the dog side? Well, 50 own dogs, but we still need to take into account the other factors. So 50 take away 10 is 40, 40 take away 5 is 35, and 35 take away 5 is 30 over 100. And now the final factor, the fishy factor. So cool, I'm going to use that. We have 20 fish, but we need to take into account the other factors. So 20 take away 3, 17. 17 take away 5 is 12. 12 take away 5 is 7 over 100. And we have completed our three-way Venn diagram. Now let's use this three-way Venn diagram to do some probability. What is the probability that in this diagram I chose a student who owns a dog? Well, there's 100 students and 50 of them said they like dogs. I didn't say just dogs, I said who like dogs in general, who own one. So we do 50 over 100 as our answer, but that can be simplified to 1 over 2. Can you now try for me? Can you find for me the probability out of those 100 pupils we've chosen that we pick someone who doesn't own any of these pets? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Did you think about it? Well, what is inside the Venn diagram represents the people who meet the conditions. So what we need to do is we need to find the number who don't. There's 100 pupils in total, so what we need to do is we need to subtract from 100 each of these values. So let's start with the top. 100 take away 12 gets you 88. 88 take away 10 gets you 78. 78 take away 5 gets you 73. 73 take away 3 gets you 70. 70 take away 7 gets you 63. 63 take away 5 gets you 58. And 58 take away 30 gets you 28. Now this means that out of all of these, there's 28 over 100 people who do not own any of these pets. This can be simplified though. Can you simplify that? Well, it can be simplified to 14 over 50, but it can also be simplified to 7 over 25. And that's how we use a three-way Venn diagram to find probability. So here is your challenge for today. I've drawn the Venn diagram for you, but you just need to fill it in and solve 4 probability questions for me. Now, I asked 125 people if they had seen any of the big blockbusters from last year. Now, out of those 125 people, 43 of them had seen Avengers Endgame. 40 of them had seen Toy Story 4. And 44 of them had seen The Lion King. Now, from that, 25 of them had seen Endgame and Toy Story 4. 20 of them had seen Toy Story 4 and The Lion King, and 26 of them had seen The Lion King and Avengers Endgame. And 15 of them had seen all 3 films. What I want you to find is the probability that they had seen all 3, if I was to choose someone, they'd seen all 3 films, the probability that that person has only seen Avengers Endgame, the probability that the person chosen has not seen Toy Story 4, and the probability that a person chosen had seen none of those 3 films. Good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing how you did. Take care, guys. Have a good evening.